Здравствуйте, дорогие видеозрители! It is me, Victor Dmitrievich Kuliganov, coming to you with 8th lesson on Russian alphabet. The name of this lesson is the missing vowels. The reason why they are missing is because so far we did look at certain vowels. You would say, isn't that enough, the number of vowels we already looked at? But in fact, Russian has a rather large number of vowels in comparison with Western European languages, and the reason for this is something which is necessary to explain to you using a little bit of linguistics. And so I am now going to run a slideshow which I prepared earlier, which will explain a little bit about vowels in general in a philological way, comparing a number of languages, which will assist you in understanding the Russian vowel system and where it fits into the vowel system in linguistics generally, and also the ideas about hard and soft, which are necessary for you to understand and get your head around if you want to be successful in your understanding and your further study of Russian language. So please to watch slideshow. Here is drawing showing cross-section through human mouth, showing to you that in the back of the mouth you make the sound a is right far back there, whereas u is in the front of the mouth going with the rounded lips, u. If you want to make a letter o, you have to make the tongue go right down, o, whereas e, the tongue is going right up to the top, e. In between the e and the a comes the e. If you want to listen to your own voice, you will hear that between the e and the a comes the e in the middle. Feel how your tongue moves through those, making those vowels. You can make them move in a circle. Now the e and the a, which are at the top of the mouth, the tongue close to the palate, they are called the soft vowels. So this table summarizes a single set vowel scheme on the basis of Italian. You have one set of vowels a, e, I, o, u, of which two of them are soft, e and e, and the other are hard, a, o, and u. So if you take, for example, the letters G and C in Italian, they have the sounds g and k respectively before the hard vowels a, o, and u, and they have the sounds j and ch respectively in front of the soft vowels e and e. You will notice the same kind of patterns emerging, but slightly different, in Spanish and in French and in Romanian and in Latin, especially the later Latin, such as ecclesiastical Latin. You will even find similar patterns emerging in English. In these languages, not every consonant is affected by what comes afterwards, but we can still see that effect on the C and the G most specifically. And so it is with most of the Western languages. In this slide we have a slight variation on the theme. We see that, for example, in Germanic you have what is called umlauts, which is the effect of the E, where the tongue is high, on other basic vowels. You have the beginnings of vowel harmony, where there is pressure on the hard vowels system to turn into soft vowels, and so what you still have basically a single set scheme, but certain sounds such as the e, the ö, and the ü are effects of needing a softness to appear on the hard vowels, and these languages do not want to move to having a double set, so they still have the single set. And this applies pretty much to the whole of Germanic, with the exception of Dutch language and also the extinct Gothic language, but the way in which these symbols are actually shown in the language alphabetically differ from one to the other language. Even within Scandinavian you have pretty much 3 or 4 separate solutions to how to show the umlaut working, but it is there in pretty much all of the Germanic languages other than Dutch. Looking at this example here for Turkish, you can see a language which has a double set vowel scheme using the umlauts. In the Germanic has them. They even borrow the Germanic symbols for these sounds to give them a full set, not entirely full set because it's only 4 positions of the 5, but they have here an ability to show both a hard A and a soft E. They have the hard E. It is not showing very well on the slide, but this is like a capital E all the time. And then the soft E, and they have a hard O and a soft Ö, a hard U and a soft U. So they have pairs up, and they have something called vowel harmony. The Hungarian system is also quite similar to this, and you will also notice that there is similarities if you look at pretty much whole of the Finno-Ugric group of languages. They have a double set of hard and soft vowels, and within a single word you usually have to decide if you're going to have hard or soft vowels for the whole of the word, and often you will find it is the first syllable of the word which dictates the vowel harmony through the other syllables of the word. But for this they have to have a full set of hard and soft vowels, and this is how they do it for Turkish. Slavonic languages per se do not use vowel harmony very much, thankfully, but we do have full sets of hard and soft vowels comprising of all the major 5 positions you saw on the cross-section of the human head earlier on in this slideshow. In the case of Polish, you can see very clearly you have A and Ja, you have E and Je, you have I and I, you have O and Jo, and you have U and U. The versions which have a J rather than an I in Polish refer to when they appear in the beginning of a word. Basically, you will see here something very similar to the Russian system. I just show it to you because it's easier to read for people who know Latin letters in Polish, but effectively it's not really any different to the Russian system that you'll see in just a second. Please notice that because you have a full set of hard and soft, you don't need to mess around with having diphthongs, and so Slavic languages have much fewer diphthongs than the Western languages do. Then so once again for Russian you can say A, Ja, E, Je, I, I, O, Jo, U and U. A full double set of vowels, a hard version and a soft version for each of the 5 positions. It is a perfect symmetry, very beautiful in fact. You will notice that we already looked at the A, Ja, Je, I, O and U, so we are left this time to look at the E, the I, the Jo and the U. Okay, the first of those that you just saw of the missing vowels was the E. This is different to the normal E, which is pronounced Ye. When you see this, look like a backward euro sign, you say E. And almost inevitably you will find this, if not in long words. If it is in normal Russian words, you will find it really mainly at the beginning of words. And it is at the beginning of one rather common word, это. It means it is or this is. Remember, I used to use the word вот, which means like here is, look at this, behold, voila. Whereas это just simply means more neutrally it is. Yes? Это человек, it is a person. Это девушка. Кто это? Это я. Who is it? It's me. The next word with in it, which is well known, is Hermitage. This is the Hermitage in Leningrad, now known as St. Petersburg, one of the major art collections of the world. It looks a little bit like two letters, like 61 a little bit. And you will find it, for example, very rarely only at the beginning of words, and if so, they must be long words. This would not naturally appear at the beginning of a Slavonic word. And it is basically comes at the end of words. For example, ты, you. Вы is also you, but when you're talking politely to people, it's a little bit like tu and vous in French, or du and sie in German. So if you want to call somebody more informally, you would call them ты, and if you want to call people more formally, you will call them вы. So it is also used, this letter in, for example, the ends of words to show that they are plural. For example, toilet, one of the famous words of this course, you would make it plural. If you want to say toilets, you will say toaleты. Okay? Pioneer means a Boy Scout. Pioneri is Boy Scouts. But you must be careful, because you cannot always use this after all letters. There is a bunch of letters, such as the guttural letters, K, G, and H, and also the sibilants that we learned last time, where you cannot always use. You cannot put this, for example, after sh and sh, and you should not use it after ch. So you have to be a little bit careful. You should not use it after j also. So for letters which end in these letters, for words that end in these letters, the plural will be I. Девушка, one girl, девушки, girls. Okay? The next